music making, it's about performing. It's about this moment of the now, this strong being in the now, and this strong concentration on what we're doing. And this we are not practicing. We are just practicing how to play violin, but we don't practice how to concentrate. We don't practice how to perform. And this is exactly what the balance training is teaching you. Because if I will stand on a slackline and 1 second I will think about pizza or what is somebody else thinking, or I will fall down. So the concentration when I am on a state of balance is 150%.
Good morning, Carolina. It's so lovely to meet you here on Zoom.
Good morning, Petra. Nice to meet you also. Yes, it's a lovely morning, as you say.
Yeah. Are you in Switzerland?
Yes, I live in Switzerland since the corona, since the pandemics a little bit. Yeah, it was just the best solution for me and my husband to come here. Before I was working as a concertmaster in the National Theater of Uruguay. And then since there were no concerts and nothing was moving on and I was just alone, and it was a tough country to be there. By that time, it was everything very strict. So I decided to come to Switzerland with my fiancé at that time, now my husband. Yeah.
That's great. And you, I see on Instagram also you call yourself the first slackline violinist.
Yes. It's funny because it's I am probably the only person in the world doing this. I mean, I've seen people on a slackline with a violin, but they were not violinists. I mean, they were just people who can play a little bit of violin, you know. And I have also a friend, a very good slackliner. She won us like competitions for like she's amazing, but she also can play very little violin. So actually, on the combination that being a violinist and doing the slackline thing, I think I'm the only one. At least I don't know another person.
Okay.
But I think if I try at violinist will make the training that I made with the slackline. I mean, it won't happen that he can do it, or this person. It's just that, yeah, probably people are afraid of that. I guess.
But what came first, this slackline or the violinist?
Of course, the violin. People, that's funny. People ask me what is more difficult. Of course, it's the violin. Yeah. I have been playing violin all my life. And the slackline is just something that has been happening the last years in my life. And it is very fast. Like, I just start when I come to Switzerland. So it's now like since Corona, it's gonna be soon 3 years or something. What? Yeah, and I developed very fast on the slackline, and the thing is like that I always made the two of them simultaneously, as it was not like I learned slacklining and then I learned to play the violin on the slackline. I learned slackline with the violin, like was the idea from the very first beginning. So I was given like the first steps with the violin. So it was not different for me later to play violin or something. Yeah, it was something more natural. Yeah, I guess.
But it's interesting because for some I mean, I've spoken to a violinist who said that the grounding, that when you stand, when you play the violin, that it's really your feet also, it's important to be grounded. But how do you find it when you're on the slackline? Because you have to really balance yourself as well while playing.
That's exactly the reason because I do it. It's very hard to understand, but balance training it's a great thing, I think, for violinists and for musicians in general. I actually making my master's in music pedagogy here in Switzerland since I come here, and I am writing my master work about this special way of training with balance, because balance is something super important for us violinists and for all the people who play an instrument on standing, I will say. Also, also flutist, also a singer. It's like there is a lot of balance in violin playing. Like we need first we need to balance the bow actually between one of the strings, no? And we have to find the strings and find the perfect point between the strings, the perfect contact point. And then the balance come here in this hand, the relationship with the gravity and the physics, what the bow can do. This reaches a completely another level when you do stuff like this, because then I am in balance, and I am in balance with my body and with my instrument. Like imagine a violin string. It's like a slackline. It's just a string that is pulled on two sides and it's tied. And this is exactly where I am when I play violin slackline. I am in the point of view of the bow.
Yeah.
Or something like this. So I could say that I am the bow of my slackline, and my bow and the string is the slackline of my bow. Something like this.
Yeah, but that's amazing. I've never thought of it like that.
It's a balance and the balance actually. There is two balances, and the point of be in complete balance in absolutely balance with your body is that when we play it, we often do a lot of movements or things or that take us away from the music or from the technique or from the essence of what we can do with the bow. And the slackline bring everything together to the first point of to the beginning of everything, I will say, to the beginning of what can we do with just very little of what we have, the gravity and the bow. What can we do with that? How can we manage that? And then you learn that you can much more than you imagine. And then it's really, I think for me, I have been learning a lot from the slackline. So I believe I am a better violinist now because I'm doing this. So my point is with this balance training is to also help another musicians maybe to. I mean, I'm not awaiting that other people will play on the slackline, but we have been making some experiments with musicians playing on the rehabilitation structures for balance. There is the balance board. There is also just very simple very simple structures where you can stand and play, and we have very good results actually.
Really?
Yeah.
But so you said it made you a better violinist. Can you see the difference in how you play? Can you or can you hear the difference in how you play since you've been doing the slackline?
Oh yes, the first time I experienced the balance training, it was in the university. I studied in Vienna, but I also studied some semesters of Baroque violin in Linz. And there in Linz, they had in one room, they had like it's like I think it's just round down and up is straight, so you can stand on it and it moves a little bit.
Oh yeah.
So you need a little bit of balance to play on it. And my teacher was showing me that. I think it was actually for the singers. They also need a lot of balance, and I think singers they used to work more with balance than us than violinists or instrumentalists. But it's the same. I mean, you need all the segments of your body to be aware and to be alienated.
Yeah.
To say like this. And that was my first experience there in Linz, and I was just practicing some hard, very little passage of a orchestral piece because I had an audition or something, and I think I was practicing like 5 minutes, and when I went down from the thing, I was thinking like I'm standing like on the sky on a
Really?
and playing. It was so the ground was like soft, and I feel like um, there's no gravity. There is. I feel so free, and
Really?
that's how it's so free from everything, and that's how it started. And the best of all is that it's very good for the back. What violinists we have a lot of problems with back pain or with back because violin is not the most ergonomic instrument that you have.
Yeah.
So also for the back pain that I have and for the muscles of the back is a great training. So that was that were basically the reasons because I was starting this journey, not because it's an amazing show and it looks
Yeah.
incredible, but it is actually. So yeah, people start following me and people start asking me to play, and yeah, and now I have now other shows in the Slackline, and yeah.
Really? So
Yeah.
do you take it on stage?
Yes.
Yeah.
I take it on stage. I was at least I didn't have so many presentations right now, but just last week it happens that I got another contract. There is here in Switzerland. It's gonna be an arts day. They say the Kunstweg. Here
Yeah.
it's around the lake in the Bodensee, and yeah, I will play there.
Amazing. Yeah.
It's everything open air, and I was also some weeks ago, 1 month ago, something like this. I was a little bit more. It was 25th of September. I was on the Klimatag, and
Oh
the
yeah.
climate change day of the city of Winterthur here in Switzerland. I was playing also. I was
Amazing.
quite pregnant already.
Really, I wanted to ask now about your pregnancy and because does that influence also your balance?
Yes. I continue making the slackline all the pregnancy. Right now, I stop.
Okay.
Just like yeah, 2 weeks ago, I could say I stopped because the baby is coming.
Yeah.
And it's just like this that I don't feel that I want to. I also feel like I have now another priorities. Like here in the house, we are making the renovations for it at the baby room,
Okay.
and it's a
Yeah.
lot of work. But yeah, I was just slacklining and playing violin and slackline till middle of September or something. Yeah.
But that must be also good for your posture when you're pregnant, because we during pregnancy also we tend to have experience back pains and all that sort of thing, and
Oh
you must
yes.
yeah.
And I feel now that I let it. I feel much more the pain, and so before I was very very good. I regret a little bit that I stopped, but it's just that I have too many
Yeah.
other things to do right now. No
But
time.
yeah. But now, do you think also this is an important thing for younger children who start playing the violin or any instrument, that they don't necessarily, like you say, do it on the slack line, but that they use the slack line or that they use balance as a
Yeah,
very important part of the training of playing an instrument?
definitely. That's very nice that you're asking for, because in my studies that I am doing in the Hochschule für Musik in Bern, we made different kind of studies. Till now, we made 2 week studies, one with professional violinists, and the other one was with children. And we were making with professional violinists, we were making just nothing with the slackline, but we were making some kind of balance training, like with this. The name is balance board. It's such a thing that you use to practice balance, and it's of course much easier than to stand on a slackline. You can stand. You could stand on this and practice, or you can just stand in one leg, which is also a kind of balance, and it's also very very good. Or try to stand, or try to just take one feet a little bit more and then the other one, just training with the balance of the body and with their own body and with the instrument. And it was very good, the results. That, as I say, we had very very good results. And the second one was with children, and the youngest were like 6, and we did also slackline, but
Really?
with the help.
Yeah.
There is 2 slacklines, and there is up a slackline going up from the child, and the child can hold a rope
Okay.
and balance like this through this rope. So they are holding something actually, and they are in the slackline. And then we were singing and doing games, and this was amazing. Like, it was amazing to see the reaction of the children to the balance, to the music. They were so happy, and I
Really?
think I mean, I am not the only one that I mean, it's not only me that I say this, that it's improving the mental activity and the neuronal development. There was a study from the Swiss radio and television where they made me actually an interview, and they were making this study about how the balance can just improve all the ways of cognition in human beings. The balance is actually as something that we don't use so much in our lives,
Yeah.
and that we are losing a little bit. But it opens ways in our it opens windows in our brain, in our capability of understanding and of learning, in the capability of learning. Exactly. That's why they wanted to prove with these studies, and they made studies in children who were making like aikido or ballet or also slackline, and the results were that the children that were making a balance training, they learn faster and better different tasks that they were giving to the children. So they could actually prove this what I'm saying. So it's not just,
That's amazing. And
it's very interesting in the neuro in the neurology. It's a very interesting field to study, and there is not so many. I mean, I am the first one who is making studies in this area, so it's very interesting for me.
Yeah, and it can be very I mean, it can be implemented in schools as well. You know, if you think if it has such an advantage, can you imagine how amazing that would be if young children, when they start school, can, or even before, can have some sort of balance exercise.
Exactly. Yeah, it is what this friend of mine, with then I was making the children's project together. She has a psychomotoric practice, and she offers the Slackline for children with problems, children that have problems with learning in the school.
Yeah.
Or that are a little bit late with the school program. She's offering this Slackline program, and we were doing this together with she.
Mm-hmm.
And it's definitely it will be definitely a great thing to do in schools, also in the music, in the conservatories, like for musicians, the balance training. Actually, I didn't knew, but a student from the Zurich University of the Arts told me that she has saw me in the lesson, and I was like, what? But I was not in any lessons last week in the university. And then she told me, no, I saw on a video that I saw you on a video that my professor was showing to our class. And the name of this class is Lernstrategien, so strategies for learning. So I was very surprised that other people are getting aware that the importance of balance in the musical training. It's also a way why I say that I learned so much from slacklining. It's also a way of training the moment of the performance, because in the moment of the performance, we what we make is the performing arts, but we don't have so much this performing in our program at school. We have really like 2 times a year with luck. We have in Vienna, for example, where I study violin, we have the Klassenabend, the concert of the of the class, where you present what you have did the semester. But it's not enough, I think, because music making, it's about performing. It's about this moment of the now, this strong being in the now, and this strong concentration on what we're doing. And this we are not practicing. We are just practicing how to play violin, but we don't practice how to concentrate. We don't practice how to perform. And this is exactly what the balance training is teaching you. Because if I will stand on a slackline, and 1 second I will think about pizza or what is somebody else thinking, or I will fall down. So the concentration when I am on a state of balance is 150%. And this is what such a training teaches you, what such a training has to give you. And this is very important for musicians. It's Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a very important thing.
Yeah, but it's interesting that you say that. So you really have to. It's that concentration of being where you are, what you are doing at that specific moment.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But now, when you started the slacklining, did you have somebody to teach you, or was it something that you gradually just practiced and or did by yourself?
No, I was the teacher of myself.
Really? Mm.
Yes, yes, I teach me everything. Later, of course, I was going a little bit more forward in this sport of slacklining, because it's becoming also a sport, and I also attempt to longer lines or high lines. I also can walk on lines that are in the high, like for example, we made it between two mountains with slack
Wow.
lines that are longer than 100 meters or something. Um, and
Amazing.
and for this, of course, I need help, and I know people who are professionals, and they were helping me and guiding me through this. But this is also an amazing journey that I have been making last years, and that also again has been teaching me a lot for my profession, how to deal with fear, how to deal with nervosity, how to take control over your body.
Mhm.
And this is everything very much related to music. Every people, I think people just think is some kind of crazy trip from me,
Yeah.
but I also make it for my profession. Actually,
Mhm.
I think it has been bringing me a lot. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because you mentioned now the fear factor, and that's also something that is probably a part of your um, life as a musician, that you have this, uh,
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah, this anxiety
Yeah.
also of uh, performing
Yes.
or perfecting or achieving, you know?
Yes, the last one of the last concert I made with my pianist, and she told me before she asked me before the concert if I am nervous or something,
Yeah.
and sincerely I have to say, since I can walk slack lines, walk on the air to 100 meters above the ground, really you start losing the fear. You start really getting the control about every part of your mind on your body, because I always say we can practice all the day and we can practice a lot, and then we can appear perfect, but then we go on stage and this is everything nothing if we can't handle
Yeah.
the fear or the fear of falling. So it's very much like in slacklining or like in highlining, and this overcoming fear. This is something you can train,
Mhm.
and people don't know that. But it's not gonna work if you're always doing the same. You have to do different things um,
Challenge yourself
and
then.
different challenge
Mhm.
to overcome fear. And yeah, I don't think like people do always the same and they expect different results, but
Yeah.
it's not
Yeah.
gonna happen. Yeah,
Now,
I
so
think
tell me, do you plan on doing balancing with your baby when you when that
I think no, not for now.
oh,
But
okay.
I don't know. I mean, I have seen people doing that.
Really?
But I think I balance on the slackline with my violin, and my
Yeah.
violin is like my baby, actually.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Even it's not the violin that I used to play concerts in
Yeah.
Musikverein or in Cacao, whatever, or
Mm.
even I care for, it's a violin I care for. So, and I actually never fell from the slackline. I never
Really?
hurt myself, and
Mm.
I never felt. So people think like this will be maybe normal that I that I broke several bones already, but no, no. Everything what I make, it's under a lot of control, I will say,
Okay. Mm.
and that's why also it has been bringing so much to me, I think.
Mm.
Yes, it has been learning me the concentration that I was missing last. When you play violin from your whole life, you were 7 years old, and then you start playing violin, and then at some point you can't play violin while you're sleeping. You can't play
Yeah.
violin even, and then you can play violin and do a lot of other things with your brain, like your brain is actually playing violin, but then it's also traveling through the problems that you have with your mom, and you have to
Yeah.
deal with your husband that he doesn't want whatever. You start
Mm.
misusing your brain in the moment of playing, and I think the balance training has been bringing me back to to this pure concentration of
Mm.
playing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting because I can imagine that, and also that you say that you're then in the moment, so it makes you concentrate also on your performance.
Yes, yes, yes. It
But
is.
yeah, but now, Carol, now what is next for you? What is now the wish for you for the future?
Uh, well, right now I can't stop just thinking about this little one that it's here.
Okay.
That it's gonna come. I think they say 27th of November, but I think earlier. I think
Oh,
it's gonna come
really?
earlier.
Yeah. Oh, wonderful.
So yeah, I
Mm.
have just got 3 weeks or 4 weeks so
Mm.
that he's born, and yeah, right now it's like I'm probably a mother instinct that
Oh,
I can
really?
only think about.
But it
I
is.
I made
Mm.
I made my last concert last week at Kakael, and I yesterday they just asked me for another concert. I say no, sorry, I
No. Yeah.
I can't play anymore. It's like
Mm.
yeah, I need to concentrate on this now. Yeah, I think it's also a big challenge.
Yeah, but I think,
Um,
yeah, somebody told me when I had my first baby that there's only one time for a first baby, that time where you can really
yes,
just focus on the baby, and that's the next pregnancy there will be already another child, so your mind will be
different. Yeah,
already busy with other things. So it's that
yeah.
first baby, that first moment, that's always just that one off that you can experience.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. And it's amazing how he reacts to music. I always say he's
Really?
already a little musician. Like
Yeah.
he's on time. Sometimes in the orchestra, I had the feeling that
Yeah.
he knows where it's coming.
Oh,
That he
really?
was giving me the kicks on time, or with the pauke, or like the most dramatic parts. He will get more crazy.
Really?
And then
Maybe, yeah, maybe
yeah.
he's going to be a conductor.
I don't know, but it's amazing how he can react to music, how he listen,
Mm.
and the reactions. So yeah. It's really
Yeah.
magical.
Oh, wow. Well, it would be interesting when he's born to see if he
Yes.
can respond to the music. Yeah, you'll
Yeah.
have to play.
Yes, I have to.
Yeah. Well, Carolina, it was so lovely to talk to you, and all the best with your the rest of your pregnancy and the baby coming, and also your wonderful work and studies that you're doing about balancing and music, and for musicians. It would be very interesting to hear more also about that when you are finished with everything and the results and so on that you can see.
Yeah.
So,
Definitely. Definitely. Thank
yeah.
you so much, Pedro, for your time.
Yeah, and please keep me
Um,
updated in the future when you get more when you've done more studies and get more results. It would be very interesting to talk about that. My great wish and my great hope for the future is that more children get exposed to art education, and if something like you are doing is so important, because I think this will also help not just musicians but every child. Balancing is such a basic thing, and it's so easy to incorporate in education that this is something that we also have to think about and talk more about.
Definitely.
Yeah.
We don't have to forget that it's also our body that it's making music, not
Yeah.
only our mind. Yeah.
Yeah. Carolina,
Yeah.
have a lovely afternoon. and
Thank you very much, Petra. And to
and
you too. Many
I
greetings to Vienna, and see you
thank you.
maybe.
Yeah, and I will. Please let me know when you're in Vienna, and I would love to meet you in person.
I will come definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, and I will follow you on Instagram to see how you. Maybe there's a picture of the baby one day.
Maybe.
Okay. Okay,
Okay.
Carolina. Bye.